Welcome to this episode of Work From Home, the workshop. This one is going to be about fashion and merchandising in the gaming space. On this week's panel, we do have three wonderful people within the fashion and gaming sphere. We first have Gina, who is the VP of Marketing and Creative at Gen.G. We also have Breanne, who is the co-founder of Ateyo. And we have Sammy, who is the founder of D.R.E.A.M Clothing.
I went to college and I got a degree in fashion design, and I thought I was going to go work at Prada or somewhere like that. That was my dream. And I kind of stumbled across gaming in New York and just fell in love with the community and went to TwitchCon and fell more in love and realized that this was way more exciting. I cared way more about trying to make a product for this community rather than the fashion thing.
I started in gaming at Gen.G about 2 years ago, and it's been a lot of learnings for me as well. I think like the biggest thing that I always, like obviously like I have a brother, like you grow up playing games, we had like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, like Game Boy, all that stuff, right? But I didn't realize that it was like such a huge community until I came into it, and then I realized how like vibrant and vast the overlap was, and I think that's where it really started to get super exciting for me, and very, very I feel like I've learned a lot within the last 2 years. So.
I didn't get my degree in fashion at all. I got my degree in psychology. D.R.E.A.M is pretty much built off of mental health awareness and like helping people. I've been surrounded by it my whole life. I have diagnosed anxiety, like really, really bad case sometimes. So I worked with a gaming company 4 years ago. Actually, I was the person who licensed the PewDiePie gaming chair. I thought, I'm gonna come in and build an audience here. Gamers suffer a lot with mental health issues, especially streamers. I know so many big time streamers, and I work with them who just talk about like social anxiety or depression, or like, they're spending all their time in front of a camera and like getting like love from people they don't know. And I design clothes for myself, things that I want to wear, and then people love wearing them. And we've done a lot recently. So it's kind of came in through that, and just my influence and love of streetwear and fashion helped me create what we have now.
We're not just making a sweatshirt that we're giving people an identity and a community to belong to. And I think that's really important because I think gaming until recently has kind of not been in the mainstream or not been kind of at the forefront of culture. And I think really giving people a great brand to identify with. So when you walk in a bar and you see someone wearing an Ateyo sweatshirt, you kind of have that moment when you're like, oh, we both love this same thing.
I love merch. Like merch was the first project and the reason why I started and was brought on at Gen.G. So like to me, Gen.G merch will always be very important and special because like when I look at it, people like kind of bouncing off what Breanne was saying, like people visually indicate like the communities that they're tied to by the clothing that they wear, right? Like that's how you physically manifest yourself, like who am I, what do I stand for, because you align with like the brand of what you're wearing, right? So like I mean Ateyo, D.R.E.A.M, both are great examples of that, right? I felt very strongly, and I still do, that Gen.G is a unique organization. We have a global fan base, we have teams globally. We can't just represent one area. We have to be able to have our fans around the world really say, okay, I like this because it physically shows who I am a part of, why I choose to be a part of this community of Gen.G fandom.
I've really tried to make sure that I have a better hoodie, a cheaper hoodie, and one that actually gives back. And yeah, we've been doing these color blocks like this lately. So I've been actually doing cut and sew lately as well, and making things that I think are better, for people. The last thing is size, being size inclusive. I offer up to 4XL and from extra small.
When we came into gaming, it was really important to us that we added a lot of value into the community and kind of built gaming to be better. And so we really focus on being super inclusive, trying to do good work, whether it's through our content or who we partner with, or how we manufacture. I think we really take a lot of care and thought into making sure that we're adding value into the community and making it better. than taking anything away from it. I think people might think fashion is a lot of product designing, but it ends up being like 5% of your time. And so I've actually gotten to sit down and, sketch out and kind of plan products for the future, which is really, really fun. So yeah, right now I'm in kind of heads down in product, but otherwise I'm dealing with the website or collaborations or content and kind of project managing and planning out what our future looks like.
Yeah, I think what you said is really important in the fact that like most people probably think like, oh, if you're gonna like make clothes, you're probably drawing on your sketchbook for like 10 hours a day. But that's probably, like you said, probably like a small percentage of the actual big picture in which you've got to produce, you've got to fulfill, you've got to promote, market, all of that stuff. So that totally makes sense.
A lot of Twitter, a lot of Instagram, a lot of social media. A lot of connecting. I've really built my brand off of just connecting with people. So I like to always check in with everybody and how they are. But yeah, I mean, there's very little time designing, and there's more time like, okay, how do I improve this sweatshirt? How do I find a better, manufacturer? Or how do I get better this, that? What cool things can we do? I buy a lot of stuff from my competitors too, or people in the space, and just see like how they're doing it. And this year I've been very focused on like customer experiences. You go back and forth, you come up with a symbol, you come up with the story behind it, you create like an idea, an identity. It's like literally creating a brand for every single design that you come up with. You have to have a brand message, an idea, a motto. What does it stand for? What nonprofit partner are we going to work with? Who are we going to do? And then you kind of figure it out. So one day UPS came by to drop off like skateboards that we were going to ship out, and the box said handle with care. And I'm like, oh yeah. So I quickly call up my designers that I work with, and I'm like, guys, we're going to call it handle with care. They're like, holy shit, we are. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we put it all together, and then it's just how it kind of is so much brainstorming and understanding of just like, this needs to show a message. Like somebody needs to see this and know exactly what it means immediately.
Gaming is now a commercially recognized enormous market, right? So a lot of it will be, I'm sure a lot more is coming, and people now I feel like people accept it or like understand that it's a digital cultural agent, right? For like, culture changer, like culture shifter, in the same way that fashion is and music is its own genre, and they're all kind of like similar. And like I always say this in the Venn diagram of like digital culture, there's like gaming, music, fashion, and they all like cross over. And I think like now with the younger generations, like there's more crossover than before, right? Whereas like I don't want to talk about when like I was in college or anything, but maybe like it wasn't as mainstream, right? So now it's more mainstream. So people understand that it's like it is an important market that cannot be ignored.
I think we launched our third colorway, the zip ups and sitters, which is the first in a few years. So it now comes in navy, and that's just launched on the website. And we're bringing back women's wear in about a month. So we've got a really exciting thing planned for that I am so excited about. And yeah, looking forward to sharing that.
We actually just launched a new design called Inkblot today, which is like a Rorschach test design based on the Rorschach test. And it's like a butterfly, so it symbolizes like rebirth. And it has a little message that reminds you to love yourself and love your body, because it's something that we're doing for body dysmorphia disorder, because I work with Rise Above the Disorder, and they tell me that a lot of people are calling them to get help for BDD, because it's a very, very huge issue. I mean, especially with women.
Gina, any upcoming Gen.G merch coming through?
Yeah, I mean, we will have some within the next month. But also really exciting this year is we're also going to be designing and selling Soul Dynasty merch. So we're excited for that.
Yes, very excited about it. And with that is a wrap for this workshop. Thank you guys so much. This was honestly super, super awesome, very insightful. And I think it's going to help a lot of young creators as well as people in the industry who might not have had a look into what this whole subculture within gaming looks like. So this was a great way to give perspective. But nevertheless, we will see you on our next workshop, and have a great rest of your week.